Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my March reading wrap up. I read 6 books in March, which is still really good for me. I don't want to say oh, 6 books is bad or whatever. For me that's actually usually slightly above average than what I've been reading in past months and past years. However, January and February, I don't know what it was, I was just flying through books left and right. Not necessarily because they were better, even though kind of because they were better, but also just because I don't know, I was just in an intense reading mood. And I didn't even want to watch TV. I was just I just want to read. And then this month that kind of changed. I went back to wanting to watch some TV shows, and then also I got sick. I know, shocker. I feel like every other week I'm telling you guys I'm sick because that's what it feels like for me too. So I know. So there was about a week to a week and a half where I wasn't doing any reading because I wasn't, feeling well. So getting 6 books in was still really, really great, but technically is less than what I've read in most months this year. But I'm going to talk to you guys about the 6 books that I read, what I rated them, what I thought about them, all that stuff. Some of these books I talked about in videos previously because I did reading vlogs and things like that. So if you guys want to go check out some of those, there might be more in-depth reasoning for those in those videos than maybe here. But yeah, that's today's video, and I hope that you guys enjoy, and let's get into the video. Okay, so the first book that I read and finished in March was Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. So this is the second book in the Legendborn cycle series. I read Legendborn in February, then finished this in March, and then, spoiler alert, read the next one as well in March. But this was a reread for me, and honestly I'm so glad I reread them because I listened to the first and second book the first time I read them, and being able to reread them and actually I don't know, there was just something about it that was different and made the experience better. I'm always trying to read the physical copies of books or the Kindle versions instead of listening if I can, but sometimes I know that there are books that are almost better listened to. For example, Daisy Jones and the Six, I think, is one that is an amazing audio book because just the way it's formatted. But also sometimes, I just want to listen to an audiobook, and so I'm gonna read some books on Audible. But it was really nice to be able to reread it in the physical format. I rated it a 4.25, which is upping it from where it was. I think part of it is because when I read it, I wasn't as into fantasy at the time. Reading wise, I've always been into fantasy, movie and TV show wise and stuff like that, but reading wise, I just wasn't as in my fantasy mood as I am now. So I think that definitely helped. And then also just like I said, I don't know, just being able to read it physically, I think there were just certain things I maybe missed, and I don't want to say missed because I didn't pay attention. It wasn't like that. It was just I don't know how to describe it, but it was just missed. And so yeah, this was upped to a 4.25 from, I'm pretty sure it was a 4. So yes, this was really, really great. I loved it. It was so much fun. And then I did also read Oathbound in March. That was the next book that I read. It had come out on March 4th, and I messed up and sent my physical copy to my house, not my apartment. So did I buy it on Kindle to read? Yes, I did. And do I regret it? No, I don't. So I read it on Kindle, and oh my goodness, it was so good. I rated that one a 4.5, I'm pretty sure, which would be the highest rating of the series for me. I know that I've seen some reviews where people didn't like certain aspects of it, and so they rated it slightly lower. But I thought it was really good. I'm not usually someone who likes a specific trope that's in this book. I don't want to give it away because it's kind of a big part of the book. But I liked how it was done, and honestly, I loved it. I had so much fun with it. I ate it up, and it was super good. I don't want to say too much just because it's still a very new released book, and I know people are reading it still or getting to reading it, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone because that was the biggest reason why I got it on Kindle, was because I didn't want to be spoiled. So that's kind of all I'm gonna leave with that. It was just really good and a great continuation of the story, and I cannot wait for the next book, which is also going to be the last book. And I want Tracy to take all the time she needs writing that book, but also I need it now. So I'm a little conflicted on my feelings, especially because of how long it took to get Oathbound from Bloodmarked. I'm worried that I'm gonna be like graduating college when it comes out, and that's like a whole like 2 years away. So I'm just kind of like, Tracy, darling, can I have the book now? But like I said, also I need her to do her magic, so she needs to take all the time she does, but oh well. So that was the second book that I read in March. The next book that I read was A Worthy Love by A.E. Valdez. This was the fourth book in the Rise and Fall series. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I read the first 3 in February, and then I finished it in March. Oh, I love that series so much. I think it's one of my new favorite series. It's interconnected standalones, and I'm always a sucker for interconnected standalones, but I don't know, there was just something about this core group where like every book hit in a different way. And I feel like usually I have like my very, very favorites, and I honestly, I don't know if I can pick like a favorite. They're all so unique and good in their own ways that I'm just like, I don't know. But I had a really good time with it. I rated it at 4.5 stars. I cannot wait to get my hands on physical copies of these. I'm trying to wait till the summer to buy them just because like I won't be at my house anyways to get them, so I'm kind of just waiting, and maybe like in the summer I'll spoil myself and get them. But oh my goodness, I love them so much, and I'm kind of sad that it's over, but I also know that the author has other well, I know she at least has one other series. I don't know if the author has more, but I know that there's at least another series that I'm now forgetting the name of. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called now, but I am excited to read more by them because I do really like their writing, and I think that I liked this series, that hopefully I'll like their other series, so yeah. The next book that I read was Heartless Heathens, so you can see it's still in shrink wrap because I read it on Kindle. So I rated this at 2.5 stars. Here's the thing. It wasn't even really the plot that was the problem. The plot was very interesting, and for me and my personal life experiences, I found it entertaining. My issue was honestly the sexual parts of the book. So basically you have girl living in this tower. Yeah, it's giving Rapunzel, I know, but basically has been locked in this tower, has been living there, and I think she's either 18 or 19. I know she's like an adult, but like she's been living in the tower her whole life. She's like met like 1 to 2 people her entire life, and then all of a sudden these 3 boys move into this place and discover her, and then like start having sex with her like right off the bat. Like they don't really like explain really what sex is to her. They just kind of start having sex with her, and like she's describing like in the scenes like she is happy about it and enjoying it. So like for me it just was a very close line there though, where I was like, but she doesn't really understand what's going on, and I don't love that. Like the consent doesn't feel like it can be there if she doesn't understand what's going on. But also the way the author wrote it, she is clearly like enjoying herself and not having a problem with it, but again, but she doesn't. So like, do you see what I mean? There was a Goodreads, what are they called? Review. Oh my goodness, I don't know why that slipped my mind. That almost described my feelings perfectly for the book. Oh, I don't know if you can hear. It just started like pouring outside. But I don't know. I think if we would have made it more of like we taught her what these things mean and stuff before we just like started fucking her. And to be fair, they didn't like have like sex. They were doing, you know, more hand-like things and oral things before they got to like actual sex, but it's still like the same thing. So I don't know, for me, I just feel like if the consent would have been a little bit more clear because of the fact that she didn't understand, like the book would have been 10 times better. But the plot was really interesting. I saw the potential, but yeah, like if you've seen those TikToks where they like show like popular book talk books and they're like, would I rewrite it or like get rid of it or like keep it as it is? I would rewrite this book if it was me. I would make it so that she learns what sex is and everything, understands it, feels safe and comfortable consenting in the situations, because like for me that was the biggest problem. Why do we have to start raining as I'm filming a video? Anyways, I'm gonna try to talk louder so you guys can hear me over the rain. But it was still a very interesting book besides that, with the plot being very different. But yeah, it was only 2.5 stars because of the whole sexual thing making me feel a little like, I don't know if technically this can be considered consent. But yeah, so 2.5. I know, I'm sorry. I was really hoping it'd be good too. And like it was, but it wasn't, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on it. Okay, next I finished Beyond the Veil. This is the 8.5 book of the Zodiac Academy series. So I am on book 9, which is technically like the last book of the series. I know that there's a 10th book, which is like kind of a novella-y thing. I may or may not read that, I haven't decided yet. We'll see how the 9th book ends, if I feel like I need to read it or not. But oh my goodness. I liked parts of this book, but I also really didn't like other parts. It was mainly, hence the title Beyond the Veil, it was pretty much all the characters that have died that are kind of important to the characters that are still alive, and like the storyline and progressing it. It was kind of them watching the 8th book, but on their point of view, if that makes sense. And so some of that I found interesting, and like you got to get some background about the twins' parents. However, I also felt like this could have maybe been like a shorter book, like we didn't need as much of their point of view. I don't know. It wasn't that it was unnecessary, like there were definitely things you get from it, but also like, could you skip it and probably not be confused? Yes. But I don't know. I feel like some of it wasn't necessary, and so I kind of got bored at certain parts because I'm kind of like, I already know that this happens. I didn't need to be told this again just from someone else's point of view. So I only rated it like a 3.5 stars because of that. It wasn't horrible, it just was kind of boring at times. But I am looking forward to the 9th book because I know this is where things are wrapping up, but also it is like a hefty book, just like book 7 and 8 were, so I know it's gonna take me a while to finish, like maybe June or July. That's probably being hopeful. Probably more like September. But yeah, I don't know. I was kind of bored at parts. I was like, I hate saying that about books because like I don't like being bored with books, but I kind of was. But yeah, so that was the 5th book that I read in March. And then the last and final book that I read in March was Black Ties and White Lies, which is by Kat Singleton or Kate Singleton. I don't know. Usually it's spelled like it's K-A-T, so I would say Kat, but I know some people say Kate. So I'm not exactly sure which one she pronounces it as, but I'm gonna go with Kat Singleton. I was actually pleasantly surprised with this book. Not that I was expecting it to be bad. I just wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I rated it at 4.25 stars. I liked the 2 characters. I hated the little like 3rd act breakup, but it was also like really short, which I appreciated. Because if you're gonna have one, making it short is better than making it this long drawn out thing. But yeah, I always like fake, you know, dating, or in this case, fake fiance. I always think that's fun. And I did like how the characters kind of like their like history I thought was very interesting. Usually the fake dating and stuff like that doesn't have the type of history that this couple particularly did. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember if it's Winnie or Emma whose book is next. I want to say Winnie's book is next, which Winnie and Emma are Margot, which is the main character in Black Ties and White Lies. Those are her friends, and they each are in the next 2 books. And I think Winnie's book is next, and I am very excited because I liked both of those characters, even though you didn't get like a ton of like time with them. The time I did get, I liked them, so I'm excited to see what their books are. And now I'm forgetting what the trope was, but the second book had a trope that I was really intrigued with. I can't remember what it was now. think it was something with like enemy family like things, which I thought was very interesting, because I'm like, usually enemy families are like within like mafia romance books or like fantasy books and stuff like that, so I'm kind of curious to see how she writes that. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed the first book and I'm excited to continue the series. I know that she is I'm pretty sure she's getting picked up by a traditional publisher, so they're getting new covers. So if you want the old covers that have like kind of like, I don't know how to describe them, they're black and whitey kind of, and they kind of have like men on the cover, but they're like from here down, it's like their suit and tie kind of thing. If you want those covers, I would suggest getting them now because they will go away when the new ones come in. That's what I did because I wanted my books to match, and I can't guarantee I'm gonna like the new covers. But yeah, I had a great time, and overall March was a pretty good reading month. It wasn't too bad. So the last thing I want to say is that my March TBR, I had my parents and my sibling pick my books, and I read Oathbound, which was one of Kira's picks, and I read Heartless Heathens, which was one of my dad's picks. And again, to preface, my dad literally just randomly picked 2 books off my shelf. He has not read these. And my mom picked 2 books as well. One of them I am currently still reading. That is why it is not in the March reading wrap up, but I did technically, because I'll finish it, read 1 book from each person. It's just my mom's is gonna fall into probably the April reading wrap up because it's a bit longer, and also I just started it later in the month. So just wanted to preface that, let you guys know. I'm excited for this month's TBR, but also like can feel the mood reading coming out of me and like only running to read what I'm in the mood for, not what I put on my TBR. So I'm also a little nervous, but I'm really going to try to stick to the TBR as much as I can. So we'll see in a month when I do my April reading wrap up how much I stuck to it. But yeah, I hope that you guys are all having a great day and a good week and whatever. I hope school isn't too bad or work isn't too bad. I hope you guys are all staying safe, because I know that there has been a lot of weather things going on. Like right now it's storming where I am, and we've had some tornado watches going on today, so just like everyone be safe. And yeah, I will see you guys for my next video. I don't know what it is yet, so I'm not gonna tell you anything, but I will see you guys then. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.